So I definitely feel for Faith's character. But like I said, you know, just to watch Buffy and Giles have that real passionate moment, that broke my heart, because she did everything she could to bring Giles back. And not for Buffy. She brought Giles back because it was the right thing to do. And also to watch Angel, to make sure that Angel didn't fall off the freaking deep end, like usual. So I was really disheartened by that Giles kind of just dropped her. No real... I mean, they had some talk about it, him saying, you know, I feel kind of bad, but my place is with Buffy. And I'm like, really? If your place was with Buffy, then why in season 8 were you completely off with Faith almost the entire time, leaving Buffy in the dark that you were working with Faith? It just... I mean, I get the concept that he didn't want Buffy to kill another Slayer, but here we are in season 10, and she's using lethal force to kill us. About to use lethal force to kill other Slayers. So I'm a little confused there. You know, I can understand why Giles would want to be with Buffy, but once again, does Buffy really need Giles there right now? Like, is that... You know, does Buffy really need that mentor? Or does Faith need that mentor? And I think that's where I looked at Giles' character in the beginning of season 10 and thought, you know, wow. For as much as Faith has done for you and for Buffy, you guys really still treat her like a piece of crap. And that brings me to my next point. With the fallout from Twilight, and, you know, when Angel went into that catatonic state in the beginning of season 9 of Angel and Faith was there, the one taking care of him and, you know, watching over him. I look back on that now, and I thought about it a couple days ago, and I'm like, you know what? That was so wrong of Buffy on so many levels. Buffy had a lot to do with Twilight as well. So for her to stand there and blame Angel a lot, and for everybody to kind of blame Angel for Twilight and the catastrophe that Twilight brought, I feel is really unfair to the Angel character. Buffy never really, for me, accepts her responsibilities. And she had a lot to do with Twilight. She did not need to, you know, have this cosmic sex with Angel and go into this whole new dimension. I get that she wasn't understanding what was going on and that nature was edging them on, but wasn't that what she was complaining to Angel about? You know, you were manipulated by Twilight and blah, 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 blah. Well, so was Buffy, just in a different way. You know, so for Buffy to kind of stand back and let Angel go catatonic and let him just, you know, sit in a cellar somewhere chained and not really worry about him, it took a little from me from, how do I say this? It made me feel as if the Buffy character, it took a little bit from her. Yeah, I just didn't like how she left Angel just to be catatonic after Twilight. I understand she was really upset that Giles had passed, and I'm really, not that it passed, but that Angel had killed Twilight, but once again, we've been over this. It's not Angel, it was Twilight. So, you know, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with Buffy, you know, kind of saying, just kind of leaving Angel, like I said, catatonic, and leaving Faith to handle it. It's like, okay, you know, let's let the Slayer that's not really the Slayer handle my problems, and I'll go live my happy-go-lucky life with the Scoobies and move forward with my own life, but leave Faith and Angel just to kind of deal with the cleanup of Twilight. It just didn't make sense for me. You know, did she catch some heat for, you know, destroying magic and the seed? Yeah, she did. I mean, I will admit Buffy kind of got a lot of grief for that. But you know what? I think she should have caught a lot more grief for the Twilight stuff as well. But anyway, this is about Faith. It's not about Buffy, but I just wanted to make that point. that I felt it was really unfair for Buffy to kind of drop Angel and face slap and just say, you know what, I don't even want to know about it, don't want to know about you, don't want to know about him, I got my own problems and I'm trying to live my own life. I just felt that was really unfair. And then the other part that I really felt where Buffy lacked as a character was when Faith brought Giles back. I don't remember Buffy even saying to Faith, thank you. You know what? You know, you didn't have to bring him back. You didn't have to do that. But you did. And you watched out for Angel, and you went through all this chaos and all this. You stopped the plague, and you fought Whistler, Pearl, and Nash, and you know what? And you did all of that to save the world and to bring Giles back. But Buffy can't give her a simple thank you. I mean, come on, Buffy. It's like, I understand that Faith has done some really awful stuff to you, but so is Spike, and so is Angel, and you always seem to forgive them in time, but never Faith. So, I maybe people will argue with me on this, but I really feel like Buffy just needs to get over it and say, you know what, I'm not being the bigger person, I'm not being the bigger Slayer. I need to forgive Faith and move on, because she is truly one of my biggest allies. She is. If Faith did not show up with Kennedy and those other Slayers in the beginning of season 10, I don't know how the Scoobies would have did against those new vampires. I just don't. I don't think any of us do. So, I do feel like Buffy just needs to get over the resentment of Faith and move on. So, I do understand why Faith in season 10, you know, after she dropped off Giles, said, you know what, I'm out of here, I'm going to go work for Deep Scan, and that's going to be that. The next part that I have written down was when Faith worked for Deep Scan, it really showed me, you know, that wasn't a fit for her. She was looking, like I said, in this entire season 10 to find who she was, but when she worked for Deep Scan, she couldn't let go of that natural Slayer ability. Just like when Buffy tried to work for Deep Scan in season 9, she couldn't let go of that natural Slayer ability that, you know, when you see, not necessarily just a demon, but a demon doing something bad, they're going to the Slayer's going to step in and try and make that balance, or protect the people that are involved. And we saw that when she attacked the rocker chicken that was apparently someone she was supposed to protect. So it didn't really work out for her too well in Deep Scan, and I'm kind of glad to see that. I didn't want to see her in Deep Scan too long. I feel like we spend a lot of time in Deep Scan, and it doesn't really ever go anywhere. It's just to kind of remind us that there are Slayers out there and they're working in this corporation that's run by Kennedy. So, you know, I kind of feel like the writers keep throwing that in, but they're not doing either enough with it, or they should just let it go. It's like, do something with it or let it go, but don't just keep bringing it up so that we realize that there's Slayers out there. You know, and I didn't feel that it was right for Faith to go out and use her Slayer abilities just to make a paycheck. That didn't feel right to me either. She's all about, you know, kind of like Angel with the redemption and, you know, doing the right thing. But when you're getting paid to do the right thing, it just, that doesn't seem like redemption to me, and I don't feel like that would have been in the Faith character to really do that. So that didn't play well with me either. So, and going back to the chicken ban, I absolutely hated that issue. And I'm a big Angel and Faith fan, so I hated that issue with the rocker chicken. I don't know what it was. It was just something about that whole concept, and I can't get over it. The rocker chicken just wasn't my thing. Now, the one interesting part that I really felt with Faith going out and discovering who she is as a person was when she decided to leave Deep Scan and Kennedy gave her the file about Riley, and, you know, that kind of triggered Faith's mind into, wow, that's something I haven't thought about in a while, Riley and what I did to him. So that was intriguing to me, that they brought something back from season 4 and was trying, and I want to assume that the writers were trying to get her back into that redemption phase of, okay, I'm going to save Riley so that I can do my best to make up for the things that I've done wrong. Like I said, I apologize. I'm looking at my notes here. When I went back and reread that issue, though, after Faith saved Riley and, the other people involved in Zane Pharmaceuticals that were there in this jungle in South America with these weird South American vampires, he gave her the advice of, the same advice Angel always gives. You can never really make up for the things that you've done. All you can do is do better and live your life a better way. You can't necessarily go around and just say, since I did this good deed, it made up for the bad deed that I did back then. It doesn't work that way. You can only live your life better moving forward. But then he gave her some real advice that I don't agree with at all, and it goes back to Buffy. He pretty much says to her, you can't just apologize, you need to redeem yourself. And then he goes on to say, you don't have to apologize to me, you should really be apologizing to Buffy. I'm like, that blew me away. I understand that she was in Buffy's body and that, what she did was wrong. But I'm going to go back again to say Faith has made up for that time and time and time again. Now, does that contradict my point of what I just said about, you can't take back what you did and you can't make that better, but you can only move forward and make better choices? Yes, it is kind of a little bit, I'm kind of contradicting myself here a little bit, but I don't think she needs to apologize to Buffy. I think she's done that plenty of times. She did that in season 8 when Buffy just didn't want to listen to her and she started drowning her in the pool. Then she brings Giles back. There's no thank you there. Then she's helping Buffy in season 8 fight off, all of these monsters that are coming through because Twilight's there. It's never ending where Faith is trying to make up with Buffy and Buffy just can't find the decency to say, you know what, I might not be able to forgive you for everything, but you know what, I can move on and I can look at you differently and we can have a different relationship. Doesn't mean I'm going to forget what you did, but I can forget, I can move on, and I want to and it's just like I want to see a different dynamic between Buffy and Faith. I don't want to see them as best buds, but I do want to see them have a friendlier dynamic, not this combativeness all the time of, well, you did me wrong and I still don't forgive you, and it's gone on too long, and I feel like Buffy is the one that's still holding on to stuff that she shouldn't be holding on to.